Kang Hyun-woo has not moved in 43 seconds. His driver is waiting by the car. The arrivals hall is loud around him. Families, businessmen, announcement boards flipping. He does not hear any of it, because she just walked through the customs door. 5 years. She looks exactly the same. That is the first thing that hits him. Then immediately, no, not the same. Something has been added. Something in the way she carries herself now. Like a building that has been reinforced from the inside. Like a structure that has decided it is never going to move again regardless of what presses against it. She has not seen him yet. She is checking the drawings tube under her arm, adjusting the strap of her laptop bag. Completely composed, completely self-contained. A woman who needs absolutely nothing from this city or anyone in it. He arranged a driver. He told himself he arranged a driver. She looks up. Their eyes meet across the arrivals hall. She stops walking for exactly 1 second. 1 second. Then she keeps moving, closing the distance between them with the same unhurried precision she brings to everything. Not rushing toward him, not retreating, just walking, like he is a structure she has already assessed and has decided exactly how to handle. She stops in front of him. Mr. Kang. 5 years. And she gives him his last name. He deserves it. Miss Adeyemi. He says her name the way he always did. Imani. Wait on the first syllable. The way no one else does it. The way she used to laugh about in the kitchen of the Islington flat when the morning light came through the window, and he was already making coffee at 8:47, and she would say... He stops that thought before it finishes. Your driver is waiting, he says. You are my driver, she says. I came myself. She looks at him for a moment. Something moves behind her eyes. There and gone before he can read it. I see, she says. She does not ask why. She does not need to. And that is the thing that finishes him. The fact that she already knows exactly why he came to this airport at 6:15 in the morning instead of sending the driver he arranged. The fact that she will not give him the dignity of pretending she doesn't. The fact that she is just going to carry that knowledge quietly and say nothing and make him carry it too. He reaches for her luggage. She does not stop him. They walk to the car in silence. And Kang Hyun-woo, CEO, eldest son, a man who has run a billion-dollar company for 5 years without showing a single person what it has cost him, feels, for the first time since London, like someone has walked back into a room he did not know he had been standing in alone. Before I tell you what happens when she walks into his building and finds what he has been putting on her desk every morning, I need to ask you something. Have you ever seen someone again after years apart and realized in the first 5 seconds that you never actually got over them? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. If this story is already in your chest, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to Seoul Heart Stories. Turn on that notification bell. Because what happens next in that building, what he does every single morning before she arrives, is going to tell you everything about a man who never found the words to say what he should have said 5 years ago. Let's get into it. They do not speak for 12 minutes in the car. Seoul moves past the window. Han River flat and silver to the south. Ginkgo trees burning gold along the boulevard. October doing what October does in this city, turning everything briefly. I'm vividly beautiful before it lets go. Then he speaks. The project brief is comprehensive. There are structural considerations on the East Development site I would like your assessment on before the council presentation next week. I will need the full soil reports and foundation surveys by this afternoon. They are already in your inbox. She turns to look at him. He is looking out the window. He put the reports in her inbox before she even arrived. He anticipated what she would need, which means he has been thinking about her, specifically, in advance. She looks back out the window. I will review them tonight, she says. They do not speak again until they reach the hotel. You need to understand something about Imani Adeyemi before you can understand why being in this city, with this man, is not simply difficult. It is the most structurally complicated thing she has ever agreed to do. And Imani Adeyemi has built bridges over fault lines. She was 14 years old. Lagos, a school. Not old, not neglected. On paper, a modern, properly constructed facility. It passed every inspection. It passed them because the inspectors were paid to pass it. The developers used cheaper materials than the drawings specified. The structural engineer signed off on calculations he had not properly reviewed. The building held its failure inside it like a secret for 3 years. Then, one Tuesday afternoon in March, the weight of the secret became greater than the weight the structure could carry. Imani's best friend, Adana, was inside it when it fell. Imani was not. She had been kept home that day with a fever. She was on the sofa watching television when she heard her mother make a sound in the kitchen she had never heard before. She went to look. Her mother was standing with both hands pressed flat on the counter, staring at the radio. And on the radio, someone was saying something about a school building, a collapse, emergency services. The name of the school was the name of Adana's school. The time of the collapse was 20 minutes ago. Imani stood outside the rubble for 3 hours while the rescue teams worked. Adana did not come out. She understood something standing in that dust that she has never fully lost. Buildings do not fail by accident. They fail because someone made a decision somewhere and buried it. A lie pressed into the foundation before the concrete was poured. And the structure carries that decision forward in silence, beam by beam, floor by floor, until the day it can no longer carry it. And the people inside have no idea. They trusted the building. That trust is the most devastating thing of all, because it was completely reasonable and completely misplaced. She became an architect so she would never be the person who buried something. Every building she has ever put her name on is load-bearing in the truest sense. Not just structurally, morally. The materials are exactly what the drawings say they are. The foundations go exactly as deep as the specifications require. She promised Adana this at 14, standing in the dust of what used to be her school. She has kept that promise for 17 years. She cannot say the same about Kang Hyun-woo. They met in London. She was 26. He was 28. He was attending an evening architecture lecture series, not for credit, just because buildings had always drawn him, and he had never let himself pursue it properly. She was sitting next to him when she leaned over halfway through the first lecture and said quietly, "He's wrong about the cantilever. The load path doesn't work the way he's drawing it." He looked at her notebook, at the correction she had already sketched in the margin. She was right. "You're right," he said. "I know," she said. They went for coffee afterward to argue about it. They argued for 3 hours. By the end of the evening, he knew things about her that she did not typically share quickly. And she knew things about him that he did not typically share at all. That was how it began. 3 years. The flat in Islington. The architecture books. Coffee at 8:47 every morning. The particular quality of London light at 6 in the evening when the city exhaled. And everything outside the window turned gold. 3 years of building something together, not a physical structure. The kind two people build when they decide to organize their lives around each other. Load-bearing in every sense. Foundations properly laid. Materials honest all the way down, or so she believed. Then his father called him home to Seoul, and he went. The calls got shorter. Then the calls stopped. When she tried to reach him, he answered twice. Both times. He sounded like a man standing in the middle of something he did not have language for yet. Both times, he said he would explain everything properly once things settled. Things did not settle. He did not call. She stopped waiting. She never fully understood the failure. That is the thing that stayed underneath everything else. Not the grief. She processed that. She rebuilt. She is fine. But the not understanding, the inability to locate the flaw in the blueprint. Because if you cannot find where a structure failed, you cannot know whether the next one will hold. She has been building things in 4 countries for 5 years. She has not let herself love anyone the way she loved Kang Hyun-woo since the night she stopped waiting for his call. She almost did not take this project. She Googled the client before accepting. Third result: a profile piece in a Korean business journal. A man in a charcoal suit outside a Gangnam building, our hands in his pockets, looking at the camera with the expression of a man who has learned to maintain composure. Kang Hyun-woo. She stared at the photograph for 47 seconds. She counted. Then she called her business partner Tobena. I need the full breakdown on the Kang commission by end of day. Already sent it, Tobena said. A pause. You saw the client name. Silence on the line. Imani, do you want me to decline it? She looked at the photograph for one more moment. No, she said. I'll take it. She told herself it was because the commission was too significant to refuse. She has been telling herself a lot of things. The Kang Group offices are on the 14th floor of a Gangnam building that Imani clocks immediately as a mid-90s corporate build that has been quietly and intelligently modified from the inside. Better natural light than the original blueprints would have allowed. And someone removed a partition wall that served no structural purpose. A rooftop garden visible from the street, multiple levels, considered planting. The kind of space designed by someone who thought about how a person moves through it, where they would sit, what they would see. Small changes, enormous difference. Someone who thinks about buildings as living things did this. She notes it. She does not comment on it. Her office is on the east side of the floor, clean, well-positioned. Window looking over the city toward the Han. She has been at her desk for 14 minutes when the coffee appears. She does not see who brings it. She is in the bathroom. When she comes back, it is on the right side of her desk, 12 inches from the edge. An Americano with oat milk and 1 brown sugar. Still warm. She stands in the middle of the office and looks at it. Oat milk was not standard in Seoul cafes 5 years ago. It requires going somewhere specific. And 1 brown sugar, not white, is the kind of detail that gets lost almost every time, unless someone already knows it. She picks up the cup. She throws it in the bin. She opens her laptop. She does not let herself feel anything about it at all. Day 2. Coffee on the desk when she arrives. She throws it away before she sits down. Day 3. She throws it away before she takes off her coat. Day 4. Site meeting all morning. Returns at 2:15. Coffee cold. Throws it away without stopping walking. Day 5. Deep in a drainage calculation at 8:52. Her hand reaches out, picks up the cup. She is halfway through it before she surfaces from the numbers enough to register what she is holding. By then, it is already gone. She puts the empty cup down, stares at it for 4 seconds, goes back to the drainage calculation. She tells herself this means nothing. Day 6. She drinks it immediately. Does not look at the bin. Day 7. 9 o'clock at night. The 14th floor is empty except for her. She has been at her desk since 7 in the morning. The east side drainage problem has been resistant all day. She is close now. She can feel the shape of the solution forming in the numbers. She does not hear the door open. She becomes aware of him the way you become aware of someone standing close, not from any single signal, but from all of them at once. The body reads it before the brain does. She does not look up. You need to stop doing this. Her voice is level, eyes on the blueprints. He crosses the office, sets the coffee on the right side of her desk, 12 inches from the edge. Same position it has occupied every morning for 7 days. I know. She looks up. She cannot help it. He is standing in the middle of the office, jacket off, sleeves rolled to the elbow, tie loosened. He looks like a man who has also been here since early morning working on something that has not resolved itself. He looks like a man who knows exactly what he is doing, cannot stop doing it, and is not going to pretend otherwise. I mean it, she says. I know that too, he says. He does not move. He stands there the way he always stood when he knew he was wrong, not retreating, not offering anything, just holding his ground. Then he turns and leaves. The door clicks shut. Imani sits alone for a full minute. Then she picks up the coffee. She drinks it. She stares at the drainage problem until 11 o'clock. She solves it cleanly. She goes back to her hotel. She lies in the dark. She does not think about the way he said, "I know," both times. The first like a confession. The second like something that has been sitting inside him for a very long time, waiting for somewhere honest to land. She does not think about it at all. Back in Gangnam, in a penthouse apartment 3 blocks from the Kang building, Minji Kang is sitting up in bed with her laptop open. She is 24 years old. She is dying. Not in the way people use that word carelessly. She means it in the specific, clinical, irreversible way that her oncologist meant it 6 weeks ago when he used words like aggressive and resistant. And we should start thinking about how you want to spend the time that remains. 6 months. Maybe a little less. Her phone rings. Mama Kim. She answers. "She's still in the building," Mama Kim says. "It's past 9. She didn't leave with the others." "I know," Minji says. "He's still there too." A pause on the line. "Minji, ya." Mama Kim's voice drops. "He doesn't know you arranged this." "No. And when he finds out? He'll be angry," Minji says simply. "And then he'll be grateful. In that order." "You sound very certain." "I am." Minji closes the laptop. He keeps her books on his shelf, Mama Kim. 11 of them, 5 years, still full of her handwriting. He has never explained them. He has never put them away. Silence on the line. A man does not keep a woman's handwriting for 5 years if he is over her. "No," Mama Kim says quietly. "He does not." "I have 6 months," Minji says. "I am not spending them watching him pretend." She ends the call. She looks at the window. Seoul gray and lit outside. She has arranged everything she can arrange. The commission, the brief, the timing. The rest is not hers to control. But she has learned something in the last 18 months that she did not know before her diagnosis. Most people wait too long. They wait for the right moment, the right words, the right circumstances, and the right moment never comes, and the words stay unsaid, and the circumstances never align, and then one day the time is simply gone. She is not going to wait. She is not going to let her brother wait either. Day 10. Imani sees Minji across the lobby at 12:30 in the afternoon, and her chest does something she was not prepared for. Even from 20 meters away, she can see it. The different thing. Not the face. Sharp, quick, the same face she remembers. Not the eyes. Still reading the room faster than anyone around her. Something underneath all of that. Something in the way she is carrying herself. Imani has 17 years of reading experience. She knows immediately when a load is being born somewhere, it was not designed to be born. Like Minji is managing it extraordinarily well. That is the part that makes it worse. Minji sees her. She crosses the lobby in 12 steps and wraps both arms around Imani and holds on. No greeting, no words. Just holds on. Imani stands for 1 second with her arms at her sides. Then she holds her back. The way you hold someone you genuinely love and have not held in 5 years. They stay like that for a long time. Minji pulls back. Her eyes are bright. "You look exactly the same," she says. "So do you," Imani says. Minji smiles. Real smile. Reaches her eyes. But behind it, just for a second, Imani sees the compensating beam again, the careful redistribution of something enormous. She files it. She does not ask. Not today. They have lunch 2 blocks from the building. Minji orders for both of them without looking at the menu. She asks about the firm, about Accra, about Edinburgh, about a community school project in Lagos. She read about in an architecture journal 6 months ago, quoting a specific paragraph about the materials philosophy, asking a question about the local timber sourcing that could only come from someone who actually read the piece. She has been paying attention from a long distance for a long time. She does not ask about Hyun-woo, not once, not even in passing. Imani notices this with the full precision of someone who notices everything. When they say goodbye on the pavement, my Minji holds Imani's hand a moment before letting go. "I'm really glad you came," she says. Not like relief. Like something more deliberate than relief. like a word aimed at a very specific target by someone who has been planning this moment for a long time. Imani walks back to the building, takes the stairs, 14 floors. She needs the time to think. Something is wrong with Minji Kang. She does not know what it is yet. But she has spent 17 years reading warnings before buildings show them visibly. When she finds out, everything about this city is going to become considerably more complicated. She is right. Day 15. A cafe in Insadong. Corner table, window, gray Thursday afternoon in October. Minji sets down her cup. I have cancer, she says. I was diagnosed 18 months ago. The treatment worked for a while. A pause. It isn't working anymore. Imani goes still. Minji, let me finish. Not harsh, steady. The voice of someone with limited time who has decided how to spend every minute of it. Please. Imani is quiet. 6 months ago, Minji says, I found out about the Seoul Commission. I knew your firm had been approached. I made a call to someone on the city planning committee. I put Adeyemi Okafor's name forward. I made sure the brief was structured around your specific expertise. She looks at Imani directly. I arranged this. All of it. I arranged for you to be here. The cafe continues around them. A couple at the next table laughing softly. Outside the window, a woman walks past carrying a yellow umbrella. Why? Imani says. Not a question. A word placed on the table between them like a stone. Because, Minji says. And something underneath her steady voice shifts. The way a structure sounds different when what it is holding becomes too heavy. I have watched my brother be a ghost for 5 years. He goes to work. He comes home. He runs a company he hates because our father left it to him and he did not know how to say no to a dying man. She stops. He has been engaged twice since you. Both women ended it. Both said the same thing. That loving him felt like loving someone who had already left the room. A beat. He keeps your books on his shelf, she says quietly. The ones he borrowed in London. 11 of them, Imani. 5 years. Still full of your handwriting. He has never explained them. He has never put them away. He just keeps them like the last copy of something that no longer exists anywhere else. Outside the window, the woman with the yellow umbrella is gone. I'm not asking you to forgive him, Minji says. I'm not asking you to love him again. I'm not asking you to be the ending of a story someone else wrote for you. I'm asking you to be in this city, for as long as the project runs. Her eyes are completely clear, because I am running out of time, and the one thing I genuinely cannot do. She stops, and for the first time the full weight of what she is carrying shows through the composure, is leave him the way he is now. Silence. I know this was wrong. I moved you without asking. I reached into your life and rearranged it without your permission. I am not going to pretend I didn't. She does not look away. I'm asking you anyway, because I love my brother, and I love you. And I am running out of time to show either of you what that means. Imani looks at Minji's hands around the teacup, the careful way she is holding herself upright. She knows now exactly what the compensating beam is. A 24-year-old woman carrying a death sentence and her brother's hollow life and a 6-month secret. Sitting in a cafe in Insadong, asking for one more act of carrying. How long? Imani asks. The doctors say 6 months, maybe a little less. Imani looks out the window. A long moment. Does he know that you arranged this? No. A beat. I need you not to tell him. Minji, please. First time in this entire conversation that Minji has sounded frightened. Just that one word. Just for a second. Then the steadiness returns. Imani looks at her for a long time. Then she says, I need you to understand something. Slowly, precisely. Each word placed like a load-bearing beam. I am not staying because of him. I am not here to hand him something he has not earned. I am not the ending of someone else's story. Do you understand that? Yes, Minji says. I am staying for you, Imani says. That is where it starts and where it ends. For you, Minji. Not for him. Minji closes her eyes. When she opens them, something in her face has changed. Not relaxed, released, like a structure finally transferring its load to something solid enough to carry it. That's enough, she says. And she smiles. This time it reaches everything. That is more than enough. They finish their tea. They talk about other things. The restaurant in Mapo. The park in Bukchon with the best morning light in any city in the world. The gallery in Ikseon-dong with the architectural drawings exhibition. They talk the way people talk when they have both silently agreed not to waste what time there is. When they say goodbye on the pavement, Minji holds Imani's hand for a moment. He doesn't deserve you, she says. No, Imani says. A beat. But he knows that, Minji says. That's the difference. Imani does not answer that. She presses Minji's hand once. Let's go. Turns and walks back toward the city. Behind her, Minji reaches for her phone. She does not message Hyun-woo. She messages Mama Kim. 2 words. She's staying. The reply comes in 30 seconds. Good. Now rest. Then Minji puts her phone away. Looks up at the gray Seoul sky. She has 85 days left. The most important piece is in exactly the right position. She intends to use every day that remains. The coffee keeps coming. Day 16, day 17, day 18. Imani drinks it now without ceremony. She stopped throwing it away sometime around day 6, and she is not going to examine that decision. She drinks it. She does the work. She keeps Minji's secret in her chest like a stone she has agreed to carry. And she and Hyun-woo are professionally precise with each other. Cold, correct, thorough. He gives her everything she needs before she asks. She gives him assessments always 2 days ahead of schedule. They communicate entirely in the language of the project. Neither of them references London. Not once. Not even glancingly. Day 22. She is reviewing foundation specifications when she hears a sound from the hallway. Low, controlled. The sound of someone trying very hard not to be heard. As she gets up, Hyun-woo is in the hallway outside his office, phone pressed to his ear. Back to her, his shoulders carrying something enormous. He does not know she is standing there. She hears one word before he senses her presence and goes completely still. Minji. Just his sister's name. In the voice of a man trying to hold himself together, low, controlled, losing the battle quietly. He turns and sees Imani. 3 seconds. Neither of them moves. His face does what faces do when composure becomes too expensive to maintain. Just for those 3 seconds. Just long enough for her to see it. Then the CEO returns. He ends the call. He straightens. The East Site survey came back, he says, his voice completely level. There is a complication on the foundation depth. I will have the report on your desk in the morning. Thank you, she says. He nods. He walks back into his office. She stands in the empty hallway. She knows that sound. She has heard it before in different contexts. It is the sound of someone carrying something they were not built to carry alone. Redistributing the weight every day just to keep standing. And she is carrying the very thing that would explain it to him. She goes back to her office, sits at her desk, stares at the foundation specifications without reading them for 4 full minutes. Then she picks up her coffee, drinks it, goes back to work. Day 29. Council presentation tomorrow. They have been preparing all week. Final site assessments, structural reports, cost projections, 30 pages representing the most comprehensive proposal Imani has put together in 3 years. Conference room, 8 o'clock in the evening, just the 2 of them. The rest of the team has gone home. Seoul burning bright outside the window. He is reviewing the East Site calculations. She is checking the presentation sequence. He finds the error before she does. A transposition in the load calculations. Section 4, small. Enough to undermine the entire structural argument if it goes to the council uncorrected. He does not say anything immediately. He just stops moving his eyes across the page. Section 4, she says. Page 41, he says. Load transposition. She pulls up the file, finds it immediately. Her jaw tightens. She goes back through every calculation that references that section. 3 dependent figures, she says. 4, he says. She finds the 4th. He is right. They work in silence for 40 minutes, side by side at the conference table, correcting, recalculating, rebuilding the argument from the corrected base. Their rhythms align without discussion. She runs the numbers. He restructures the presentation language. They trade pages across the table without needing to explain what they need from each other. It is the most natural 40 minutes she has spent in this building. That is the most alarming thing about it. When they finish, it is past 10 o'clock. The corrected document is clean. The presentation is stronger than before they found the error. She closes her laptop. He leans back in his chair. "You caught section 4 before I finished the sentence," he says. "I saw your eyes stop," she says. A pause. "You always did that," he says. Quietly, almost to himself. She looks at him. He is not looking at her. He is looking at the table. The expression of a man who has said something he did not fully intend to say out loud and is now deciding whether to account for it. He decides not to. "Good work tonight," he says. He stands, picks up his jacket. The council will approve it. He reaches the door. He stops, his hand on the frame. "Imani." She looks up. He is still facing the door. He does not turn around. "I know this commission was not straightforward to accept," he says. A pause. "I want you to know that He stops. Something shifts in his shoulders. "The work has been exceptional, as I expected it would be." He leaves. She sits alone in the conference room for a long time. He almost said something else. She knows exactly what it was going to be. She is not ready for it. The council approves the presentation, unanimous, no conditions. Hyun-woo sends her one text at 3:17 in the afternoon, approved, as expected. Nothing else. She stares at it for a moment. Puts her phone face down, goes back to the documents. Minji sends 3 messages in quick succession. The first is 7 exclamation marks and nothing else. The second says, "I told you, I told you, I told you, I told you." The third says, "Dinner, Mapo, Saturday, non-negotiable." The restaurant is up 3 flights of stairs and worth every single one. Bring good shoes. Imani reads all 3. For the first time since she landed at Incheon, she smiles. A real one. The kind that arrives before you decide to let it. She types back, "Saturday. I'll be there." Then she looks out the window at the Gangnam afternoon. October becoming November. The ginkgo trees at their most gold. Seoul doing what it does in autumn. Becoming briefly, vividly beautiful in a way that seems designed to make sure you notice before it ends. She is 43 days into 90. She is staying for Minji. She tells herself this firmly. She is staying for Minji. But the coffee is still on her desk every morning at 8:47. And she has stopped throwing it away. And that is not nothing. That is not nothing at all. This is the end of part 1. Before part 2 drops, I need to ask you something real. Imani came to Seoul for Minji. She said it clearly. She has been holding that line for 43 days. But there is a man in this building who puts her coffee on her desk every morning and still knows exactly how she takes it. Who kept her handwriting on his shelf for 5 years. Who almost said something at a conference room door and stopped himself. And there is a dying girl who spent 3 months of her remaining time putting these 2 people in the same city. The question is not whether Imani still feels something. The question is what she is going to do when she can no longer pretend she doesn't. Drop your answer in the comments right now. Would you hold the line? Or would 43 days of that coffee be enough to break it? Tell me where in the world you are watching from. I want to see how far this story has already traveled. If this story has found somewhere to live in your chest, hit that like button. Subscribe to Soul Heart Stories. Turn on that notification bell right now, because part 2 is where everything breaks open. Part 2 is the 2 a.m. night. The night the East Side throws up a crisis nobody saw coming, and these 2 people end up alone in that building, and she finally asks him the question she has been carrying for 5 years. And he tells her everything. his father. The phone call. The week he lost. The month that became silence, that became 5 years of a life he never chose. And then she tells him about Adana, about the building that fell, or about the 14-year-old girl standing in the dust making a promise she has kept every single day since. 2 people, 1 honest place, and something shifting between them that neither of them was prepared for, and neither of them knows how to stop. Part 2 is coming. Do not miss it. Stay blessed, stay open, and remember, some things are worth going back to the foundation for. This is Soul Heart Stories.